Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive from CAS. Complete Aviation Solutions, bring you the latest insights in the aviation industry. Today, we're diving deep into Boeing's 2024 performance and, uh, what it could mean for the future. We got some, well, frankly, eye-popping losses to break down, but there are, believe it or not, some glimmers of hope, signs of a potential recovery. But let's be honest, it's been a turbulent few years, and 2024 was no exception.
You got that right. I think anyone looking at Boeing's 2024 can't help but see the scale of the financial hit. We're talking a loss of, wait for it, $11.8 billion. That brings their total losses since 2019 to a, well, staggering $36 billion.
And it's crucial to point this out. These losses, we can't just pin them on the 737MX grounding, though that was a massive setback, no question.
Yeah.
But we've also got the pandemic's lingering impact on air travel globally, supply chain issues that just won't quit, labor shortages, and then on top of it all, a machinist strike that really, well, threw a wrench in the works.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a perfect storm of challenges, really, for Boeing. And, that machinist strike, it's an interesting piece of the puzzle. I think it highlights these rising tensions between labor and management. We're seeing this across the aerospace industry.
It really does. And it's not just wages at the heart of it, right? We're talking working conditions, job security, the whole future of the industry.
Absolutely. And that strike, well, it hit Boeing's bottom line directly, contributed to those massive charges they had to take in Q3 and Q4 of 2024. Those charges added up to a whopping $7.8 billion across multiple programs. The 777X program, the 767, the T-7A trainer, KC-46A tanker, and even the MQ-25 drone program.
So let's talk about these charges. What's the story they're telling us? Is it all about the strike or is there something bigger going on?
Well, the strike, that definitely played a big role. You halt production for 53 days. It's going to have ripple effects, that's for sure. But we have to remember, charges often signal deeper issues within a company, things going on beneath the surface.
So what are we seeing here? Are we talking cost overruns, inefficiencies in production?
Potentially both. And it makes you wonder about Boeing's financial management overall. Can they control the costs on these huge, complex programs?
It's a valid question. And all this is happening while they're struggling to get key new aircraft certified. The 737-7, the 737-10, and the 777-9 are all facing delays. What's the latest on that front?
Well, good news first. The 777-9, it resumed flight testing. This was after being grounded because of those fractured thrust links. Remember, that's a vital part. It connects the engine to the plane. They're still aiming for delivery in 2026. But this program, it's been pushed back and pushed back again. Airlines are waiting. Makes you think about the impact on their fleet plans and ultimately how it affects us, the passengers.
Yeah, delays like that have a ripple effect for sure. It's not just about airlines getting new fuel-efficient planes. It also affects Boeing's bottom line. They need to generate revenue to get back on track financially.
That's exactly right. And then you've got the 737 MTX 7 and 10 variants. They're dealing with redesigns. The engine anti-ice system, that needs work, and they're seeking exemptions for the stall management system. These aren't just technical hurdles we're talking about, they're regulatory hurdles. It all feeds into public perception of safety.
Yeah.
Ultimately, this is about Boeing's credibility.
It feels like every time they make a little headway, boom, another obstacle pops up.
Yeah.
But is there anything positive, any bright spots we can highlight amidst all of this?
Well, there's the 787 Dreamliner. Production for that is actually picking up. This was after those quality control issues. They managed to ramp up production to 5 per month by the end of 24. So a little momentum there.
Okay, so maybe it's not all doom and gloom. Meeting the demand for the aircraft they already have, that's key while they work through all these other issues.
You said it. It shows they can fix things, they can deliver on what they promise.
But let's be real, they are in a deep financial hole. Billions of dollars in losses. Yet at the end of 2024, they had, surprisingly, $26 billion in cash and marketable securities. How did they pull that off?
Well, it took a pretty drastic step. They raised $24 billion just in the fourth quarter alone.
So is this a power move or a sign of desperation?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? On one hand, it shows they can still tap into the capital markets. Investors are willing to bet on their comeback. But on the other hand, it's a mountain of debt to take on, especially when they're already under so much financial pressure.
It's a gamble, no doubt, but one they clearly felt they had to take.
It really begs the question, what's next for Boeing? What will they do with all that cash? Yeah, it's a make-or-break moment for Boeing. They've got this influx of cash, but they're up against some serious challenges, that's for sure. What they do next, well, it could make all the difference.
So what's the play here? Where do they go from here? What are the options?
Well, the new CEO, Kelly Ortberg, he's been talking about streamlining their portfolio, that is. What that could mean is selling off some assets, freeing up more capital, and zeroing in on what they're good at, their core strengths.
Okay, interesting. So which assets are we talking about here? Could specific aircraft programs be on the chopping block? Or is this something bigger?
It's tough to say for sure right now, but some possibilities are definitely out there. Divesting from their defense business, that's one option, or even consider this selling off pieces of their commercial aviation operations.
Wow, those would be huge moves. It would
Yeah,
be a pretty clear signal, a shift in strategy for sure.
absolutely. It would mean acknowledging that they can't be everything to everyone. They got to prioritize,
All right.
focus on where they have a real edge.
Right. Makes sense. But even if they trim down the portfolio, they still got to fix the root causes, the issues that led to all these losses. We're talking inefficiencies in production, quality control problems, and yeah, let's not forget the whole 737 MAX crisis. That
Oh, yeah.
really did damage to their trust.
You're right. Oltberg has got to tackle those issues head on. It's not just about cutting costs, it's about rebuilding that culture of excellence. Safety first, quality matters, and making sure your customers are happy.
So like a cultural reset? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you could say that. They've got to win back the trust of regulators, airlines, and of course the flying public. It's a long road ahead, but they got to start somewhere.
No doubt about it. But even if they manage to turn things around here at home, they've got competition coming from overseas, especially from China. COMAC, the Commercial Aircraft Corporation of China, they're developing aircraft, and they're going head-to-head with Boeing.
That's a key point. The landscape is changing. The global aerospace industry is in flux, and Boeing isn't the only game in town anymore. They have to adapt to this new reality.
So what can they do? How do they respond to this challenge?
Innovation, that's the key. Double down on those cutting-edge technologies. Next-generation fuel-efficient aircraft, advanced materials, even autonomous flight systems. That's the future.
So basically, stay ahead of the game, right? Push the boundaries of what's possible technologically.
Exactly. And it's more than just the technology itself. It's the processes, the supply chains, the whole ecosystem that supports innovation.
Right, they can't do it alone. Strategic partnerships, that's got to be part of the plan. Suppliers, airlines, research institutions, even governments around the world.
Absolutely. Collaboration is more important now than ever before. This global landscape is complex.
And let's not forget about the people. Boeing needs the best of the best. Engineers, designers, technicians, these are the people building and maintaining these incredibly complex machines. They got to attract that talent and keep them.
Totally agree. Create a work environment where people thrive. Innovation, collaboration, sense of purpose. Invest in their workforce. Give them the power to be part of the solution.
So it's more than just the bottom line, more than just planes and profits. It's about the people, the partnerships.
You got it. And you know what? I think Boeing's situation, it's a lesson for the whole aviation industry. It reminds us we can't just sit back and coast. We have to be adaptable, innovative, and work together if we want to succeed in this ever-changing world.
It's a wake-up call, that's for sure, for the whole industry.
Yeah.
But let's step back for a second, think bigger picture. What does Boeing's situation tell us about how globalization is changing?
Well, Boeing's rise, it really mirrored America's industrial dominance. But the struggles they're going through now, it shows how things are shifting globally. The balance of power is changing. We're seeing new economic powerhouses emerging, especially in Asia, and they're challenging the West. They're going after industries like aerospace. It's a new game.
So what you're saying is it's not a unipolar world anymore, it's more multipolar now. Power is spreading out.
Exactly. And that has consequences, not just for business, but for geopolitics, too. Think about it. The aerospace industry, it's tied to national security, technological leadership. As the competition heats up, it's going to shake things up globally. The power dynamics are going to shift.
So Boeing's story, it's not just about their planes. It's not just about their profits. It's a reflection of the bigger forces at play, shaping the world around us.
That's a really insightful point. It reminds us that business, it's never just about business. It's connected to everything else. Social trends, political trends, technological trends, it's all intertwined, shaping the future.
Before we wrap up, let's bring it back to our listeners. What does this all mean for the people working in aviation or connected to the industry? What should they be thinking about as they navigate these, well, let's be honest, turbulent times?
It's a challenging time, no doubt, but it's also a time of opportunity. We've got volatility in the market, competitive pressure, and the need to adapt to new technologies, new business models. That's the reality.
But within those challenges, where are the opportunities? Where should our listeners be focusing their energy?
Yeah, for sure. The aviation industry, it's changing. It's in a state of flux, like we've been saying.
Hmm.
And Boeing, Well, their story, their challenges, they show us some of the bigger trends, the things that are shaping the whole sector, really. Yeah. And those opportunities, they're there if you know where to look. Embrace the change, right? That's the key. Now is the time for, well, bold thinking, pushing the boundaries of what we know, of what's possible. Innovation, sustainability.
So let's get specific here. For the people listening who are in aviation, working in the industry, what should they be paying attention to? What are some of the key areas to focus on?
Well, sustainability, that's got to be top of mind. The pressure is on, that's for sure. The industry has to reduce its impact on the environment, and that's driving demand, for sure. New technologies, new solutions, that's where the opportunity is.
So things like, well, you've got sustainable aviation fuels, more efficient aircraft designs, even looking at, alternative ways to power these things, new propulsion systems.
You got it. And it's not just about coming up with these technologies, it's about integrating them, making them work with what we already have, creating a system, an ecosystem that's truly sustainable.
Right. It's bigger than just one thing. It's a system-wide challenge. Got to think holistically.
You said it. And then there's the whole digitalization of the industry. I mean, data is everywhere. It's exploding. And that opens up opportunities. Data analytics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, all of that. Use it to optimize operations, make things safer, make the whole passenger experience better.
So ride the wave of the digital revolution. Use the power of data to change the game.
Exactly. And, we can't forget about the people. The human factor. There's a shortage, a growing shortage of skilled workers. Pilots, engineers, mechanics, air traffic controllers, you name it. Investing in training and development, that's crucial.
Attract the next generation, the people who will be running the show. Give them the skills they need to make it in this industry. It's evolving so fast.
And companies like Boeing, well, they have a role to play. They got to be proactive, work with schools, create apprenticeships, invest in their people.
The future of the industry, it hinges on the talent, on the people coming up through the ranks.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And for those already in aviation, well, never stop learning. Stay curious. Be ready to adapt. Keep learning new skills. Keep your knowledge up to date.
This industry, it's all about change. Got to have a growth mindset, that's for sure.
And don't be afraid to, think outside the box. These challenges we're talking about, they need creative solutions. Be bold. Push those boundaries. Be the ones who shape the future of aviation.
Well said. As we wrap up our deep dive into Boeing, their 2024 performance, what it means going forward, I want to leave everyone with one last thought.
Go for it.
Boeing, their story, it shows that even the giants, they can stumble. But it's also a story about, well, resilience, about adapting and changing, and about how powerful human ingenuity can be. Never underestimate that.
Yeah, that's true. I think the takeaway for all of us, really, is this. We're living in a time unlike any other. So much change, so much uncertainty. But you know what? Change brings opportunity. And if we embrace innovation, if we work together, if we strive for excellence, we can make it through these turbulent times, create a better future for the aviation industry, for everyone, really.
That's a great note to end on. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, keep pushing the limits.